Hello, and welcome to another episode of Game Controller Reviews. If my autofocus will settle down, we'll get into it. Today we are talking about the Hori Onyx PLUS for the PlayStation 4. And what is unique about this controller is that it is a wireless third-party controller, which is not so uncommon anymore, but at the time the original, the non-Plus, just the Hori Onyx launch, it was the first. It was the first one. It was the first one to be wireless and third-party. The other thing about this controller that probably you're recognizing is the asymmetrical design. I'm going to bust this out. We're going to take a closer look at it, and yeah, let's check out the Hori Onyx Plus. Alright, so here it is. Here is the Hori Onyx Plus. Let me go ahead, we're going to bust into this thing, and we will take a closer look. Now, I got the box in, and it was this beat up. It is what it is. You know, for us stateside, this is an import controller. It is sold at retail, I believe, in the UK and in Japan. It does not come with any sort of micro USB, so it's a BYO MUSB. So this will come off, and yeah, we'll take a closer look at this thing. So right off the bat, you probably notice this is how we're going to connect to our PlayStation 4 or our PC. So this goes in the console, and it connects pretty easy. I boxed this thing. There we go, autofocus. I boxed this thing up for the video, but I have used it for probably about 20 hours. I've put on this thing. So there's our USB dongle, and now to bust into the controller and go over some of the details here. So here it is. It's not fresh out of the box, like I said. Kind of here's our front here. There's our micro USB. If once again my autofocus, there we go. So take a look around the back. We have a couple switches here and a bunch of dust. A couple switches here. We have the wireless and wired switch. So you can use this either with our little USB dongle, or you can plug the micro USB that you brought yourself and just play with this wired. And then also this other switch over here, switch between PS4 and PC. So this will work with your PC. I did not test it on the PC. I used it on the PS4. But yeah, so just a few quick notes, right? I really enjoy the way that this fits in my hands. You know, the asymmetrical stick design is not something it's not something I've craved necessarily. It is different, and I was really just curious about what Hori had going on when it came to some different controller designs. I have a couple others here as well that I want to take a look at soon. But here, just to take a quick overview, what's different from the Plus and the non-Plus. The original Hori Onyx, really the biggest difference, that right there, the headphone jack, which works really well. It's not cheap. Was awesome for listening to audio. Now, let's just go through and what I thought of the different buttons and whatnot. To start out with what I really liked. I really like the weight of the controller. It's very light compared to a first-party pad, especially compared to like a professional controller. It is very light, and that is because there are no rumble motors, which some people may really have an issue with. I know my brother pretty much handed this back to me and said, blah, what's the point? Didn't have rumble motors, but I didn't seem to mind it. It really kind of, at first I noticed, because, I mean, rumble, at least for me, a lot of people turn it off, but I never do. So I noticed the lack of rumble, but that went away, and I actually really appreciated the light weight of this controller, especially paired with this texturing back here. But I will say that the overall body of the controller doesn't fill your hands out in the same way that an Xbox One pad will or a PlayStation 4 pad will. It's still, you do very much feel those controllers. Like, take a look at this one. This to me melts, it just melts into my hands. Like, it just is, this is one of my favorite controllers ever, the Sony DualShock 4. This does not fill your hands out in a similar way. It feels like you are holding a controller. That's not terrible, because the controller you're holding is decently comfortable, but it's definitely not melt in your hand kind of ergonomics. So one thing I liked about the thumbsticks. The thumbsticks are, if we want to see a little side by side, they feel wider, and I think that's because they are, compared to a first party pad. They remind me a lot of the 360 analog sticks, but there is no texturing on the Hori pad at all, which I actually liked. I thought the texture of the rubberized coat on these things was really pleasing. I liked it a lot. Another thing I really dug about this controller was the D-pad. The D-pad, so good. I played a lot of Indivisible with this pad, and I hardly touched our thumbstick over here while I was playing Indivisible. This D-pad is just really dang good. There's that concave shape there, makes it really comfortable to use. I've never been a huge fan of the Sony D-pad. It's not bad, and you know, it works well most of the time. It's just, I like the traditional cross. I really have always liked the traditional cross. And then brings us over here to these buttons. The buttons are, as you can see, it's kind of hard to see actually with them layered like this. They're a little bit smaller feeling, and they're pleasing too. All right, so what else did I play with the Hori Onyx PLUS? I played Alyx, which is a German RPG, really fun, criminally underplayed, but I played a lot of that game with this controller. Camera control here, movement there, really nice experience there. And I also played the first, 6-7 hours of Mass Effect Legendary Edition with this pad. That brought me to a couple negatives for this pad that I really, it's not overstated. I don't want people to come away with that this controller is a lost cause. It may be a lost cause for us over in the States, because by the time you import this sucker, it's about the cost of just another first-party pad. But for those of you in the UK, for those of you in countries where this is available just at a store, if you were to pick this up at a clearance price maybe, or a sale price even, at $40, I think that this would be, whatever the equivalent is in yen or pounds, I think this controller would be worth it. But let me circle on back to what I was saying before. So our shoulder buttons, those are pretty solid. I like the shoulder buttons. Autofocus is not solid. Okay, there we go. So these buttons, I like a lot. These buttons, however, unfortunately are a little bit gummy. They feel a little mushy. There's not a, like these buttons, satisfying to press. Our D-pad, satisfying to press. Even these, satisfying to use. These just really mushy. And so if your idea for owning this controller is to play shooters, it's not a bad choice for shooters. But man, those triggers just are not. There's obviously some sort of spring mechanism. It's pressure sensitive clearly, but it's just the mechanics of using it is just not pleasing, at least to me. But yeah, overall I really liked my time with this, and if you want to know, and it's something that I'll probably continue to use actually when I'm not using something else to review. I really like this pad a whole lot. I like the lightweight, I like the way the thumbsticks feel, even if our triggers are not as good as, a first-party controller. There's just something about the lightweight, this D-pad. I like this a ton. One thing I will say, though, is that these buttons seem a little out of the way sometimes. I do a lot of captures. I'm transferring some captures right now, hence why this fella's on. Yeah, so that's the Hori Onyx PLUS. So, that's the Hori Onyx PLUS. I know this is a pretty quick video. I wanted to get this out, pair it with the blog. If you want the full written review, it goes into a little bit more detail. It is in the description down below. As always, thank you very much for watching, and if you'd like to see me review anything else, let me know. Either let me know at the website, GameControllerReviews.com, or just in the comments down below. Have you used the Hori Onyx PLUS? I'm curious. I haven't met anyone that has, and I liked my time with it. So yeah, let me know what you think. If there's anything Hori related you would like to see. I've got a few coming down the pipe now that your boy's done with school for a little bit. It's time to look at some peripherals and stuff a little bit more regularly. So again, thank you for watching. If you want the full written review, it is in the description. So thank you very much. My name is Kobe McKinley. This was Game Controller Reviews. Have a great day.